guys, hi, welcome back on my channel. Today we have gathered here to talk about my September reads. So it's another one of those wrap-up videos, ASMR style. This month in September I've only read 4 books. I mean, only one of them was pretty hefty, so I'm not mad about it. And I've talked about it before, I'm not so focused on the quantity of books that I'm reading. I just want to understand each book and really digest it and take my time, so I don't rush when reading books. I don't feel like I need to read 15 books a month. If you do that, I'm full of respect and you do you, but I don't know, I just like to do it this way. So without further ado, the first book that I read in September, I'm looking at it right now, was this one. I have picked it up from the library and I have to return it soon, so it's good that I'm making this video now. This one is by Kesey. I'm not sure. And it's the classic One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. In Polish, it's Lot nad kukułczym gniazdem. And someone has suggested that I do more tracing in these videos, so I'm going to try and incorporate it in today's video. Lot nad kukułczym gniazdem. One flew over the cuckoo's nest. If you've seen the movie and you think it's not necessary for you to read the book since you already know the story, I think you should reconsider, because the book is totally different. In the movie, I felt like the focus was so much more on McMurphy. It was more from his perspective and his side, but here, after a few sentences, we discover that it's all written from the perspective of Brompton. So I was surprised, but in a very, very positive way. I was also very happy that we got to know more about the chief himself, so more about his history, enjoy the main protagonist arrogance. I know that this was her creation and she was meant to be like that, but I just couldn't get myself to like her all that much, which I do feel is kind of crucial, especially when you commit to a whole series of books. And because of that, I don't think I will read the whole series, the Throne of Glass series. Also, I didn't like the dynamic between Selena and Arabin, so her teacher slash warden slash supervisor slash sugar daddy, whatever. It was even said in the book many times that his role in her life wasn't clear even to her. So that seemed kind of gross, and I didn't love that. So yeah, this book just gave me the urge to try more fantasy, to maybe delve into the genre more, but I wouldn't say I would recommend this one in particular. The next book that I read, and I read it in just one day, was I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. When I got the package from Book Depository, I was pretty bummed about the cover. I mean, the edition that they sent me. I was hoping for the cover, the black cover with the snowed down car. Do you know what I mean? But I got the Netflix version. I never am a fan of movie or adaptation versions of covers, but this book, I'm never the kind of person to sacrifice their sleep time for a movie or a book. Like, sleep is the jam for me. But here, I was so determined to finish the story that at midnight, when my eyes got a little bit sleepy and heavy, I decided to take an hour of a nap and then return and finish the book. And so I did that. This book was the first thing that I thought about after waking up, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still processing it, and I don't think I've ever felt such emotions from a book. I mean, I've obviously cried reading a book, I laughed reading a book, but this was just something different. I felt the anxiety, the tension, and honestly just pure fear. I was scared to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't tell you why, because there are no ghosts, there are no monsters, there's just this atmosphere. There's even that one passage that just basically describes what I was feeling. I wish there was more supernatural. A ghost story, for instance. Something surreal. Something from the imagination, no matter how vile. That would be much less terrifying if it was harder to perceive or accept. If there was more room for doubt, I would be less scared. This is too real. It's very real. That's what I felt. I felt like I was there, and I just wanted to get out. There's also an unreliable narrator, so you don't know what's real either. If you enjoyed the heaviness and the general atmosphere of the movie Get Out, which was excellent in my opinion, you will love this book. It gives me just the same vibe reading too. I don't have good reads, and I don't think of books in the 1 to 5 star category, but I still see how this could be the case here. It's a story of a man that decides that he will only understand black people's lives and problems and perspective, and also his own privilege, by becoming black. And so he did that thanks to some medicine, some UV lamp exposure, and some paint. So he explored the south of America in a totally different skin as a different person, and was just taken aback by how differently he was treated, even though he hadn't changed anything else. Not the way he spoke, not the way he dressed or behaved. He was the same man, just with a different skin color. He experienced the hate, the glares, the suspicions, the disgusting questions and inquiries. He felt the loneliness, the despair, and the tiredness. He used his knowledge to write about racism and supremacy from a different standpoint, because now he understood 2 sides of the story. I think it is an essential read. Some parts were heartwarming, but most of them were just eye-opening, but also heartbreaking. And I think it was much needed for me, because I do have social media and I am aware of what's going on at the moment right now, but I don't have much knowledge on the past and the history of fighting with racism, because obviously they don't teach that at school. So I was very, very glad to learn more, and I would recommend this book to absolutely everyone. Absolutely everyone. Black, like me. Okay, and those were all the books that I read in September. I feel like even though there are only 4 books, it was an excellent reading month. I was very motivated to read, and I hope to keep that up in October. Please let me know what is your October TBR, because we have the 1st of October and I still am not sure. I mean, I'll see